The Galactic Council had made many mistakes in its 7,000 years of existence, but none quite as catastrophic as the day they killed a human's dog. Ambassador Wilson stood before the massive circular chamber, his face a mask of diplomatic calm that betrayed nothing of the fury churning inside him. 57 alien species stared down at him from their elevated seats, their expressions ranging from contempt to indifference. The matter before us, droned High Counselor Drek, his purple tentacles waving dismissively, is a simple one. The Earth delegation brought an unauthorized biological entity onto Council grounds. Security protocols were followed. The creature was terminated. Wilson's jaw tightened. That biological entity was named Rex. He was the companion of our lead scientist, Dr. Adams. He was harmless. Your emotional attachment to lower life forms is precisely why humans are considered primitive, hissed Representative Luff, her scaled skin shimmering under the chamber lights. The animal could have carried pathogens dangerous to multiple council species. Rex was fully vaccinated and decontaminated according to your own protocols, Wilson replied. Your security forces had approved his presence. Then they changed their minds and executed him without warning while Dr. Adams watched. The chamber filled with murmurs of dismissal. Humans had only been part of galactic society for 15 Earth years. They were newcomers, barely tolerated for their unusual resources and strategic position in the spiral arm. The Council has more pressing matters than the disposal of a primitive companion animal, Trek concluded. This session is adjourned. Wilson stood motionless as the chamber emptied. When only silence remained, he activated his comm unit. They refused to acknowledge the violation. Implement Cerberus protocol. The voice on the other end was steady. Understood, sir. God help them. Admiral Thomas Jackson had been waiting for this call for 7 years. He stood in the command center of the EFS Vengeance, the first of Earth's secret fleet. Officially, Earth possessed only 23 small defensive ships, approved and monitored by the Galactic Council. But deep within Neptune's atmosphere, hidden from prying alien sensors, floated the truth. 300 warships that had never appeared on any official record. All ships report ready, Admiral, his executive officer announced. Open fleet-wide channel, Jackson ordered. When the light blinked green, he spoke clearly. This is Admiral Jackson. For 7 years, we have prepared in secret. While playing the role of the grateful primitive species, we studied their weaknesses. We built this fleet using technology they thought we couldn't comprehend. They believed themselves superior. Today, they learn differently. He paused, remembering Dr. Adams' face when she returned from the council station. How she had collapsed, sobbing, describing how they had vaporized Rex without a moment's hesitation or remorse. How the aliens had laughed at her tears. The Galactic Council has demonstrated that they do not respect our ways, our bonds, or our values. They believe we are weak because we care for creatures they consider beneath notice. They believe our compassion is a weakness to exploit. We will show them how wrong they are. He nodded to his XO. Deploy the fleet. The Council's Central Defense Station detected the human ships too late. By the time alarms shrieked across the massive structure, 50 Earth vessels had already surrounded it. Impossible, breathed Defense Commander Vore. Their technology is primitive. They cannot have cloaking capabilities. Incoming transmission, a junior officer reported, fear evident in all 6 eyes. Admiral Jackson's face appeared on the main screen. This is Admiral Jackson of the Earth Fleet. Your station is surrounded. Power down your weapon systems immediately. Vore's mandibles clicked in agitation. This is an act of war. The Council will. The Council killed a dog, Jackson interrupted. Perhaps that seems insignificant to you. But to understand humans, you should have studied our history more carefully. We have gone to war for less. Across Council space, the same scene played out at every major military installation. Earth ships appeared from nowhere, weapons locked on critical systems. In an emergency session, the Council chamber was chaos. Representatives shouted over each other while security feeds showed human warships at every strategic point in Council space. Ambassador Wilson walked calmly to the center of the floor. The room gradually fell silent. 300 ships, he said simply. Technology equal to or superior to your own. We could have struck without warning, as you did to an innocent creature under our protection. Instead, we choose to negotiate. How? Demanded Drek. You were monitored, restricted. This fleet cannot exist. Wilson smiled thinly. You saw what you expected to see, a primitive species grateful for scraps from your table. You never considered that we might be learning, adapting, and building in secret. You never considered that we might be more than you assumed. He placed a data crystal on the pedestal before him. These are our terms: full membership in the Council, equal voting rights, recognition of Earth's sovereignty over its sector, and a formal apology to Dr. Adams for the unnecessary destruction of her companion, or Isploth. Or we demonstrate what happens when humans are truly provoked. Rex was just one dog. There are billions of us who loved him in principle. The council chamber was silent as the implications sank in. 1 month later, Dr. Adams stood beside Ambassador Wilson as the treaty was signed. The Galactic Council, for the first time in its long history, had been forced to treat a newcomer species as an equal. Later in the Earth Embassy, she looked at the small memorial plaque that had been installed in the garden. It showed a bronze Labrador retriever, alert and loyal. Was it worth it? She asked quietly. All this because they killed Rex. Wilson gazed out at the stars. They needed to understand something fundamental about humanity. We appear soft because we care deeply. But that same depth of feeling is precisely what makes us dangerous when provoked. They misunderstood our compassion for weakness. He turned to her. They won't make that mistake again. Adams nodded, touching the plaque gently. No, they won't. Across the galaxy, Earth's fleet remained vigilant, a reminder that sometimes the most dangerous species are those who know the value of love.